Hello, Pete. Look at that. Day 1000 news updates and chat. Man, this is aggravating. All right, hopefully we got a transmission now. Hey, Deb Vi. Hi, Tina McCloy. All right, maybe we found it now. Maybe we got the sweet spot now. We got a watermark now. We're rolling. Live TV, man. Thanks for sticking with it here. Okay. All right, while everybody gets into here, into the chat, let me go over a couple of really good Bible verses that on my last live stream, Silly for Him shared with us. I was all talking and stuff. I couldn't see the... And it reiterates the what I was talking about there, how we should always be in joy, you know? How we should always be in a mode of praise for our God because of the spectacular, perfect wisdom that He displayed to us. So the first one is Nehemiah 8:10. And Nehemiah is kind of a book about when Ezra was giving them the law again. And Nehemiah said, "Go and enjoy choice food and sweet drinks, and send some of those who have nothing prepared, and send some to those who have nothing prepared. This day is sacred to our Lord. Do not grieve, for the joy of the Lord of Yahweh is your strength." So there you go. That's why we're supposed to be in joy at all times. That is our strength. That's not the only time it says anything like that in the Bible, but there's one instance, man. Second verse Silly shared with us was 1 Thessalonians 5:16 through 18. And it says, "Be joyful always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." Oh wait, let me back up. "And we urge you, brothers, warn those who are idle, encourage the timid, help the weak, be patient with everyone. Make sure that nobody pays back wrong for wrong, but always try to be kind to each other and to everyone else. Be joyful always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." And that is His will, you know. He wants us to be joyful. He wants us to have strength, and our joy in God is our strength. And then the last one I got here, or Silly gave me, is John 15:11. "I have told you," all right, I'm going to back up to John 15:9. "As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Now remain in my love." These are the words of Jesus, by the way. If you obey my commands, you will remain in my love, just as I have obeyed my Father's commands and remain in his love. I have told you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. My command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, that he laid down his life for his friends. J6ers, all the way. You are my friends if you do what I command. I no longer call you servants, because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends. For everything that I learned from my Father, I have made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you to go and bear fruit, fruit that will last. Then the Father will give you whatever you ask in my name. This is my command: love one another. Okay, so that doesn't wipe out all the laws in the Old Testament, but it does sum up all the laws in the Old Testament. And this is all advice that's given to us from God, preserved down through the centuries for us, so that we can live productive lives, so that we are as trees planted near streams of water, which bears its fruit in season and whose leaf does not wither. Awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff. See, when you delve into the scriptures, you get all this wisdom, this brilliant wisdom, man. Okay, so I think we got good network here. I got the cooling system going. Everything's working well. Let's go with it. Last night at Freedom Corner, J6ers in the prison there in Washington D.C. For years at this point. Been calling our Congress people, telling them that they're in charge of the courts in Washington D.C. We don't elect those judges, they do, so therefore they are responsible for them. They can call a vote tomorrow and get rid of any one of them judges, yet not one of them has lifted a finger to do so. That is why we gather outside that prison every night and hold a vigil for those that were wrongfully imprisoned for standing up for their free rights. Some of the first, and then one of the messages I wanted to put out also was that there were 1 million people in D.C. that day. And there have been over 1,500 arrests so far. There were 7 new arrests last week. That the DOJ is still going gangbusters on busting people that were there at that Capitol. So that means there's thousands of people that are living with the weight of potentially getting arrested tonight, potentially getting a phone call that says turn yourself in because we're under charges now, potentially under the threat of hearing a bang at the door at 5 o'clock in the morning with SWAT teams outside of their house. They're living with that weight on top of them, and these are people. It can destroy you. Just that weight can destroy you. And there have been several suicides due to the weight that the DOJ has put on people. It weakens people. It's not good for your health. It makes you stronger. And if you turn to the Lord and ask for, rely on the courage that He can give you, it can make you stronger. But to live with that weight, we need to pray for them guys, okay? You got to pray for those mothers, those fathers, those sons and daughters that are living with that weight on their head. I know they're going through a lot of stress, just wondering if they're next, okay? And then there's, once they get done with them, we're next. So now's the time to stand up. We still do have a constitution for at least 70 more days until we find out what's going to happen with this election now. And yeah, the guys in the gulag, they're hurting, man. You guys are coming in hard with the letters and stuff. We had a call to action to call the DC jail, tell them to deliver the mail. They haven't had mail in 2 weeks. No, Patsy, they're not in jail, but they have been arrested. They're released now. Tommy Tatum and David Valentine have been arrested. They are released now, awaiting trial. So they, you know, it came down on their heads. Yeah, Tommy, like 2 or 3 months ago. David Valentine just last week. He was one of the 7 that was arrested last week. Jeremy Brown, another guy. He's been prosecuted. He's been in prison down in Florida. They just moved him up to D.C. We're not sure where he is yet because he hasn't arrived in the J6 pod, but he is in the D.C. gulag right now. We don't know where. If he's in solitary confinement or if he is in general population. They told Jeremy Brown that there was no J6 pod, which we know is a lie. But that's what they do. That's how they terrorize these guys once they're in prison, man. Tina McCloy, kudos, man. I finally got to listen to that Howard Richardson phone call that you took at the Lewisburg Vigil this Saturday. Deb for Freedom put out a short video with that on it, or you can find it in the live stream from that day. Awesome patriot, saw election fraud, went to the Capitol, ended up taking a few swings at a cop with an aluminum flagpole who was in full body armor. The flagpole broke. He was swinging at the cop because the cop just doused the woman he was standing next to, a stranger, with pepper spray. Just doused her. And Howard lost his temper for about 3 seconds, and he just spent 3.5 years in prison for that, which is an outrageous sentence for something like that. Something like that is just uncalled for injustice, tyranny, persecution of your political enemies, man. So Howard called into the vigil last night and pretty much had a detailed rundown of his entire day at the Capitol on J6, and there was a lot of information in there. Howard saw busloads of fake Trump fans arrive early at the Capitol, break down barricades before the crowds got there, and he had a lot of information in there. Just verified everything that we have been hearing over the last 2 years at the vigil of what is really going on there. Yeah, the pod does exist, as you know, Tina. So that's the psychological torture that they put him through. Call your congressman, call your House of Representatives people, tell them what this court that they are in charge of supervising are doing to patriots, because apparently they don't know, and there's no excuse for them not knowing. At least my representative, I've called him 15, 20 times, man, about it, and I get the same form letter back from him every time, but just keep after him. Send emails so there's a permanent record of all the times that you tried to make him aware of this injustice, man. Right, Tina, they were all young, strong men in their 20s with brand new Trump gear on, and they were rowdy, okay? They got up there, they tore down barricades, and then police abandoned the posts that they were at behind those barricades. And then when the crowd of people walked up from the ellipse to the Capitol, they came upon a scene that, there were no fences up, man. There were no fences, so they just walked right up to the Capitol at that point. They had a bullhorn. This one kid had a bullhorn. He was instigating people to, walk up onto the Capitol. Howard said specifically it was not a $100 bullhorn. It was a $500 bullhorn. And a 25-year-old kid doesn't go out and buy a $500 bullhorn. It was a bullhorn. He said you could hear clearly what he was yelling out. And then Trump supporters, once they did arrive on the scene, started telling him to stop it, to don't incite people to violence. And the kid threw his $500 bullhorn on the ground and ran away and disappeared into the crowd, man. So listen to that information that Howard shared with us on that phone call, man. And this is a good reason for the vigils. Thank you, Tina and Roy, for putting that together and getting him on the phone, man. I want to hear from Howard again that he was at his election. I've heard the story from Howard before on his election in 2020, the fraud that he saw. He saw ballots coming into the precinct late at night, 2 o'clock in the morning in pickup trucks, after they stopped counting the vote here in Pennsylvania, mysteriously boxes of ballots showed up. And then other news, down at the Vigil in Washington, D.C., one of the long-termer YouTuber, 1791 Stormtrooper, is taking a much-needed hiatus. There is no emergency or anything like that, but this is his second year. He has just completed 2 years of covering the J6 Vigil in DC. And every year he has to go home and just make sure, rats haven't invaded his apartment. He has to re-sign papers for his car. He has to do some car repairs. His car's still running, but it's making a funny noise up in the front axle. He probably needs a CV joint up there. We looked at it a month or two ago. It's nothing that's going to make him crash the car, but he needs some money. He needs some funds. The DC roads are they just eat car suspension systems alive. There's potholes. They don't know how to pave a road and make the manhole covers flush with the road. They're all, 2-3 inches down, and when you hit those things with your car, it just rattles the whole suspension. So Trooper needs a little bit of work on the car while he's back there, and he needs a break. That guy works unbelievably hard. After the Vigil, he comes back, reviews what he just got off the Vigil, and starts sending out community notes and flyers. He collects information from other people and starts sending it out to everybody, his network of people that he has on True Social, on Getter, on Rumble. And the guy is an amazing workhorse, man. He is a stormtrooper for sure. And he is leading the way. And God bless you, Roger, if you're hearing this. You're probably driving right now, but yeah, man. An amazing patriot taking a much-needed break. So, in the meantime, we're going to have Sapphire Patriot is still going to be there. We the People MAGA, which is Rebecca's channel, is still going to be live streaming there. For Ashley J6 Vigils DC is the channel that Nicole and Mickey run down there. Now it's hard for them to run that thing because they're also running the Vigil. So anything you guys can do to jump in and help out with those channels, offer to mod is something that we're always looking for. And we will keep tabs on that. And then there are other streamers that come and go down there. We got Glory B. I'm not going to be down there for any time in the near future. I used to be in and out of DC a lot. But I think we got it covered. Let's keep that Vigil going. 4ashley.com is where you can donate money to keep the Vigil going. It does cost money to keep that going. And then Nicole has... and anyone that's staying with her there at the Eagle's Nest, they are attending congressional hearings. They're going to court hearings for the J6ers. Kim, Rogers Mod, told me there was 15 J6 events at the courthouse today, in one day. So if that doesn't tell you that they're ramping up the prosecution on these guys, I don't know what to tell you. They are going gangbusters still on the prosecution of fine patriots that stood up using their First Amendment rights. They lose their First Amendment rights, and then they lose their Second Amendment rights. They lose their Eighth Amendment rights, cruel and unusual punishment. It's really un-American, totally un-American. Nicole reported last night from the corner that many phone calls were made on behalf of Guy Reffitt. Guy Reffitt should be out of prison at this point, okay? He was charged with a couple of misdemeanors, and then he was also charged with that 1512 charge that the Supreme Court reversed, okay? So he was serving his time at a federal prison in Oklahoma, and then for some reason got transferred to a little podunk jail in Fannin County, Texas. And was just introduced to unreal conditions in this prison, man. Here's some of the things that Guy Reppett found in this jail. The showers, the drains are clogged up. So that means everybody who's taking a shower in there, the drain water, the dirty water on the floor, pools up, you're walking in it, you're gonna get foot infections. It's horrible, man. Brown water is coming out of the faucets, and then when they turn their laundry in to have it done, their laundry is returned to them brown. So the guys, they don't wanna wear brown, dirty clothes. So they rewash their clothes and then hang them up all over the place. Everything you can hang something on in there, he says, has got like things drying out because they just washed them, right? That creates, especially in the summer, in a prison with very few windows, a very humid condition inside the prison, which creates a prime conditions for black mold to start growing all over the place, which it is. There's black mold all over the place, laundry hanging all over the place. Another thing is is on some medications that have been withheld from him. They're not giving him his medications on time and when he's supposed to be taking them. No excuse for this, man. And then there is also, there's K2. K2 is a drug that you can smoke. It's a chemical, and I think mostly comes from China through the border, and they smoke it, but they don't have lighters and matches in there. So the way that they light this up is they get a hold of a razor blade, they twist up a little piece of paper from a toilet paper roll, put it in the microwave, and hit high, and the razor blade or the piece of metal heats up, starts the paper smoking. They take it out, blow it, gets it a flame going, and then they can smoke K2 in there. Now you tell me, that is something that they can't shut down in that prison, man. So the inside of the microwave is totally black. The smell is horrible. The air inside of there is giving Guy breathing troubles because you got the black mold, you got this smoke going on, you got the humidity, you got the plugged up drain water all over the floor. I know, Kathy. I want to scream too. But God's given me the power to keep with this, man. There's a couple days I got to just tap out. I can't even think about it for a while because it is so heinous. It is so horrible what they're going through. And this Fannin County jail only has like 100 people in it, This is just another little jail that the BOP is trying to stuff a J6er in so that we can't get to him, we can't communicate with him, and they're trying to hide them, just like they did to the J6ers in Northern Neck. And look at all the corruption that we found down in Northern Neck when they were down there. They stuffed them all in Lewisburg for a while. They were sticking them over in Alexandria for a while. So now they're all over the country right now. And we're uncovering this corruption in our prison systems, man. Okay, here's some information about the Fannin County Jail. The Fannin County Jail is a privately run jail. It's owned by a company called LaSalle Corrections. LaSalle Corrections owns 14 jails, and they subcontract the incarceration of criminals to counties all over the place, right? I think they got some in Oklahoma and in Texas. There have been over 93 deaths inside correctional facilities that are run by LaSalle Corrections. Now, I'm not sure on if that was in 1 year or if that was a tally over a couple of years. Either way, it's unacceptable, okay? That's right, Barbara. We'll find a way to deal with this. We are the soldiers out here. We're free. We got phones. We got computers. We can write letters, okay? Pray for courage. Pray for the strength to get through this and to not ignore it, to not walk away from it. These are our brothers and sisters who are weaker than us. They're disadvantaged because they're in prison. Their families are struggling. They don't got time to do this stuff. So that's where we come in, man. That's where you guys are like gold to these families. So LaSalle Corrections contract for the Fannin County Jail is up for bid again, okay? In the past, they signed lease or contracts with this county that were about a year long. Hold on. I just started looking at some paperwork that Kim sent me. And now they're up to sign a new contract on September 30th for 5 years, okay? This is the longest contract that I could see. Normally it's a year and a half of providing jail service to these counties. The next contract comes up on September 30th. It is for 5 years, okay? So what we can do, there are people who are in charge of signing that contract for the county. One of those people is a guy named Commissioner Dale McQueen. All right, so I don't have links for any of this stuff, but I doubt Silly for Him's got them already, or Tammy here. So probably need your paper and pencil today. Dale McQueen is one of the commissioners in the Fannin County. He's an elected official. His phone number is 903-965-7030. Dale McQueen will be one of the men that will sign that contract on September 30th to allow LaSalle Corrections to have a 5-year contract there. So there's a lot of money behind this. LaSalle Corrections makes a lot of money from the DOJ, or the BOP, the Bureau of Prisons, by having these federal prisoners in there, okay? I don't think there is more than Guy in there right now, as far as I know. Once again, here's the phone number for Dale McQueen, 903-965-7030. I had a great conversation with somebody in Dale McQueen's office today. They were very interested in the information I was giving them about the BOP, about the J6ers, about previous local prisons. Like I said, the BOP is just dumping these guys in these little county prisons. Another guy who has to sign off on that contract is a county judge. His name is Newt Cunningham, and his number, that's Newt Cunningham. His phone number is 903-583-7455. The people in that office were very interested in listening and hearing that. Okay, no, Tina, Dale McQueen's number is 903-965-7030. Okay, so Judge Cunningham had a great conversation with a gal in his office there. She was very interested to know that this Guy Reffitt is in their prison now. He is a federal prisoner under the jurisdiction of the Marshal Service and the Bureau of Prisons right now. I got zero response out of the Bureau of Prisons today and the Marshal Service. Neither of them. All the calls I made 5 calls total, 2 to the Marshal Service and 3 to the Bureau of Prisons, and all 5 of those calls were dropped. 903-965-7030. Yes. Dale McQueen. Very good, Barbara. Thank you so much. Awesome, awesome. That is correct. Okay, that other number is Judge Newt Cunningham. I was very polite with these people, and they were very polite with me. And I just made them aware that Guy is a federal inmate, that he is in jail under charges that are not just. He should technically be out of jail right now because of the 1512 reverse. That's why they're trying to shuffle him around, give him diesel therapy, stuff him in a crappy little prison in a county there. And that having a guy like that there is going to bring them national attention. I told them that we have many people that make phone calls. We're all across the country. You are about to receive national attention because Guy Reffitt is in your jail right now. So hopefully they will think about this. They will either clean up that jail right now, because Guy Repid is kind of a gold goose that lays golden eggs for them, because they get federal money from him. Newt Cunningham's number is 903-583-7455. So I was just calling them under the idea that I'm just making them aware of some things that they may not be aware of, and that they're about to receive national attention because of this, which they may not want. Okay, another 903 New Cunningham. It's Cunningham. Judge Cunningham, right, Tina. 903-583-7455. Just had a good response with them. I guess I could type this in here. Okay, here we go. Is it hard to hear or something? All right, here. There's Newt's. Judge Newt Cunningham, 903-583-7455. Okay, another number that I got good response from was the warden at the Fannin County Jail. The warden, her name is Warden King. And her phone number there is 903-640-4171. 903-640-4171. Okay, now, Warden King, very nice lady, unbelievable. There you got it there, Barbara. Excellent, excellent. She made me aware that she doesn't know, she has no jurisdiction on who they put into prison. Her job is to just run that prison. So she was very interested in that list that I gave you on the conditions that are wrong. Brown water, no meds on time, they're smoking K2 in the prison, there's stuck drains. She wrote every single one of these down and reviewed that list with me. They're getting their laundry back, it's brown, they're re-washing their laundry and hanging it up all over the place, creating a humid condition in there that's hard to breathe, and it makes black mold. And there's one other issue there that's also, I believe Guy brought up, and that is that there are standards. There's standards that you have in Texas that you need to adhere to. One of them is the Texas jail standards. And, all right, Kathy. You were a telephone operator. You should be good at this, right? That jail is supposed to operate, the Fannin County Jail is supposed to operate under the standards set by the Texas Jail Standards. And there is also the American Corrections Association that has standards that when they're doing LaSalle Corrections is saying, all right, we're going to apply these standards to how we run the jail here, all right? And if they don't, I don't know what, there should be some repercussions to that, right? So All right, so I said all those conditions, and in addition to the black mold, brown laundry, stuck drains, K2, no meds, brown water, the training that the guards are getting, according to these standards, a guard is supposed to be getting 90 hours of training or something like that. Jay Jones found a news article, an old news article that was bringing this information up, that some of these guards have had zero training. Okay, and they're just putting them in there in charge of inmates, probably selling them drugs and stuff too, because somehow drugs are getting into the prison. And then here, Tina McCloy is saying he doesn't even have a pillow. But I think that's normal, Tina. I don't think any of the guys in the gulag got pillows either. They don't give them pillows. You sleep on a metal bed with a mat that's about that thick. That's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches thick. That's it. And then I think they give them sheets and a blanket. That's all you got. You got to make a pillow with something, with clothing or something like that. I don't believe a pillow is required under the Texas jail standards or the American Corrections Association there. But I had a very great conversation with Warden King there. She was a very nice lady. I thanked her for her time and her concern. I called the Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton's office, and pretty much got stonewalled there. They said that they told me, let me be very clear, like they said that, like exactly like that. Let me be very clear. You need to call the Bureau of Prisons. All right, so after he told me that for the third time, I said, let me be clear. It is obvious to me that the Attorney General of Texas has no care about the treatment of prisoners in your jails there. And that was it. He hung up the phone on me. Don't ever hang the phone up on people. That is childish. Make them do it. Who else did I call? So Attorney General Ken Paxton's number is 800-252-8011. And they just said, call the BOP. That call was a waste of time. You know, if you want to beat your head against the wall, call them. They're just going to tell you to call the BOP, who will then just you won't even get a human on the phone at the BOP. You'll go through about 3 phone prompts, hit this number for this thing, and that, and then the line will go dead on you. That's what happens. Yeah, they're understaffed. Everybody's understaffed right now, Tina, because of all the rules that they put on getting you have to be medically cleared to have it, i.e. the jab, DEI hires, everything. No good people are going out and applying for jobs anymore because you got to jump through all these hoops that nobody's willing to jump through, man. That's right, Debt for Freedom. It's a county jail. Yeah, this is what we're talking about right now. And we went through the owners. It's owned by LaSalle Corrections. They're up for a contract on September 30th. They're ready to sign a 5-year contract. That's why I'm thinking these numbers, these councilmen, the warden, and the judge are good people to call because they haven't signed the contract yet, okay? So right now, they got some good leverage with LaSalle Corrections to address these problems that they have, man. Well, that's what the Attorney General, Kathy, said in Texas. Ken Paxton's office said call. And I told him that. I said he's in federal custody. The BOP is in custody of him. The Marshal Service is in charge of him. This is the runaround we get, okay? This is why we have representatives that are supposed to be addressing this stuff. Because we get nowhere. This took me hours this morning. I mean, this literally took me from about 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning, because it was 9 o'clock in Texas then, till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, man. 4 hours I spent on the phone with these guys. Okay, there's another guy who I got favorable response from, and he is the local House of Representative in Fannin County. His name is Reggie Smith. His number is 512 463 0297. Yes, Kathy, it's called LaSalle Corrections. That's the name of a family-owned company that owns 14 jails that has seen 93 deaths. Yeah, right, Kathy. Ooh, they're on vacation. Right. Okay, 512-463-0297. Okay, that's Reggie Smith. Got a favorable response from Reggie, man. I told him everything I just told you guys about. You're about to get some national attention about this. You may or may not want that. I'm just giving you a heads up. And here's why. Guy Reffett is a J6er. He should be out of prison right now. The BOP is stuffing him in your little jail there to try to hide him and shut him up. And if that's a concern of yours, please do something. Whatever you can do, man. All right, so right on. There we go. So those were, I would say, that the Fannin County Jail Judge or Warden King, Texas Representative Reggie Smith, Commissioner Dale McQueen, and County Judge Newt Cunningham are 4 worthy phone calls to make. That seemed like they're interested in what's going on. You know, they seemed like good people. They were very polite. Telling me have a blessed day at the end of the conversation. I mean, these might be brothers and sisters in Christ here. And they are concerned, as they should be, It's obvious that the BOP, the Bureau of Prisons, is compromised, just like a lot of agencies in our government. It's obvious the Marshal Service is just trying to hide these guys all over the place. Probably a waste of time to call them. So I hope that sums everything up, kind of. I mean, this was all information I've gleaned. Thank you very much, Jay Jones. I owe you a lot for getting me on this morning. You gave me a lot of information. There's still much more to investigate here. I did call the Gulag in D.C. and asked them to deliver the mail and reminded them that not delivering the mail is a federal crime. I think they hung up on me. And of course, we got all the numbers you probably already wrote down 10 times for Deputy Warden Vic at the DC Gulag. Email her so there's a permanent record. But this is what we do, Patriots. This is what we do. This is our wheelhouse. This is what we're out here. This is why we watch the Vigil every night, right? Hey, Patriot Roy D, good to see you, man. Diane, all right. So the Lord knows they're hanging up on you, but God gives you the truth to see what you do with it, right? So at least you made the call, right, Diane? Your reward is in heaven. Start banking some treasure up in heaven. All right, Deb for freedom with the link. Thank you. Here's Deputy Warden Vic, man. I would just send the email, man. Don't bother calling. The emails, it's a permanent record. It doesn't go away. She must respond to that. It's something when she's getting investigated in the future, which she will be. This will be a permanent record. How many emails she has gotten over mistreatment of the J6ers, man. Yeah, there's Mayor Bowser. So if you can investigate, if you got time to investigate, try to find an email for Warden King, an email for Representative Reggie Smith and stuff like that. I just didn't have the time, and I don't even have a computer, so it's for me to do an email is quite an ordeal. And maybe one of you are gifted in that. Write up a link that you can. This is how you do it. Find a little spot. Find something you know how to do. Do it. and disseminate it into the family. Give it out to the family. So I hope that information goes good. I didn't look into this yet, but Jay Jones says there were 2 news channels down there that have been reporting on things associated with the Fannin County Jail, and that is WFAA out of Dallas, and another channel called K10, KTEN. So I'm going to try to investigate them tomorrow. Just Google K10 and Google WFAA and see what I get out of that. Let's see, I'll post that. WFAA and K10. From what I understand when I was talking with Jay Jones, these are 2 media outlets that have reported on this in the past. WFAA and K10. Which I'm a little confused at because I didn't know there were any TV or radio stations west of the Mississippi that started with a W. But maybe I'll learn something tomorrow about that. Okay, there is also other things that you can investigate. Look up the Texas jail standards and read through that, you know. Then you'll know exactly what you're talking about. You could also look up exactly the American Corrections Association and find out what the standards are for that prison, man. There's a lot more investigation that we could do beyond making these phone calls and stuff. Okay, that's enough of that. Wow, that took a long time. Okay, last night at Freedom Corner, we got phone calls from Benjamin Berlew, who was giving us a rundown. FJB's inauguration was a total fraud. He says it didn't meet military protocol. And I've heard this story from several of the J6ers. I can't remember which ones yet, but there was something off about the way FJB was inaugurated on January 20th. It wasn't at the correct time. The military presence was not there. It was absent. I've heard people say it wasn't even at the Capitol. So there's a lot of things in this that FJB isn't really the president, that this may be a gigantic sting operation. And I hope so. I hope so. But it's so hard to believe that all these J6ers are in prison right now under the prosecution of a phony president. So some of it adds up, some of it doesn't add up. Berlew is onto it. He had a whole phone call of that yesterday night. And if you want to listen to it, jump back to yesterday's stream from the corner and hear his phone call, man, because it's staggering, some of the stuff that he was talking about there. Sean Dennison called up, sang us the Kamala is a Communist song again. And he was on trial today. So last night I was praying for Sean Dennison. He sounded a little worried about it. I just prayed to God that he had a good night's rest, woke up refreshed, and had some courage today to go stand in that court, because we know what the outcome's going to be of that court. 99.5% conviction rate. It's not going to be a good outcome for Sean, no doubt about it. But give him the strength, Father. God knows who he put in these positions to stand these trials for many reasons, you know. Some are in that position to give a testimony from prison, like Jonathan Pollock and Joseph Hutchinson and Olivia, and so many of the J6ers telling us that they're just trusting God. They're reading Bible verses every morning. Jonathan Copeland, same thing, man. He told us what he was studying in the Bible yesterday for his whole 15-minute phone call. It's very uplifting, actually. And then we got a call from Jonathan Pollock and Joseph Hutchinson for the national anthem, sang the national anthem at 9 o'clock, as we do every night with the J6ers. And man, they sounded good last night. It was amazing. So prayers for the Freedom Corner Warriors, prayers for Nicole. She's running it by herself. Prayers for Sherry. She's doing a great job doing the phone calls, doing a live stream. doing a roll call, all that stuff, man. It's a lot of work in 2.5 hours down there. And then when they go home, they're still working. So anything you can donate to anybody that you're watching down at the corner is a good value, I think, for our country. And we're the only ones. We're the ones that get to donate, man. When all is made known, people are going to know, man. The story in the Bible about the woman who gave a mite to the temple, right? All these rich people were laying down gold and treasure and meat, all kinds of stuff for the temple. But Jesus pointed out one woman who put a mite, which is like a penny. She put a penny in the treasury box of the temple. And Jesus said she is more rewarded in heaven for that one penny than that rich man is for all that gold that he just stuck in there. So we're the one. We get to do it. We are given this opportunity to support the J6ers and support Freedom Corner and to fight these warriors, man. We're just little pipsqueaks out here, and we are fighting New World Order tyrants, man. Demonic tyrants, obviously. Okay, in some just random regular news, there's also a lot of stuff going on. Things are happening. Yesterday, Trump went to Arlington Cemetery and laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier with one of the family members from that had a person that was killed in Afghanistan during the pullout when 13 service members were killed due to the decisions of FJB and Kamala Harris, okay? And I thought he laid one wreath, but no, Donald Trump, who isn't even the president anymore, supposedly, was there while FJB was down at the beach, okay? Kamala was in D.C., but she didn't go there either, okay? She could have taken a 20-minute drive or a helicopter ride because she's got a helicopter. She could have went over there and participated in this event also. And Donald Trump didn't lay one wreath. He did the same ceremony 3 times with 3 different families of people who were killed in Afghanistan during the pullout, man. The honor that Donald Trump gives our veterans is more than I have ever seen any other president or politician give the veterans before. And yet they're on TV, they're telling them that he calls the veterans suckers and losers. They take one little statement that he said 5 or 6 years ago and edit it down. They take it totally out of context, and they ran with that now for 4 years, man. And that is 180 degrees from the truth about Donald Trump, man. He was the one honoring dead veterans yesterday. Kamala Harris was 20 minutes down the road, didn't show up. Joe Biden was at the beach. Fox News. Okay, I don't like Fox. I hate Fox News, actually. But Fox News is in Butler, Pennsylvania, doing an investigation on their own. So they're actually trying to perform real journalism right now. And I got to give them kudos for that. So there's some stuff on Fox News about Butler, Pennsylvania. There was also yesterday a congressional forum, which isn't really an official congressional hearing, but it was held at the Heritage Foundation media room. Dan Bongino was there testifying as a witness or somebody that was giving them information. And Eric Prince, who owns a company called Blackwater, which employs soldiers that our government hires for different needs, security needs and stuff. Eric Prince, it's a huge company called Blackwater, not Black Rock. Everybody mixes this up. Black Rock is a corporation, a money, they just make lots of money. They own lots of companies. Blackwater is more like a mercenary a business. It's soldiers for hire. And he's very connected. He's been involved in Afghanistan and many of the military operations that the United States has done. Some of the information, and why this isn't an official congressional hearing, I'm not sure why, but there is actually an official congressional hearing going on with Barry Loudermilk and a couple of others. So we got a handful of good guys in our government. and we got to make sure we know who they are. Some of the stuff that they came up with in the forum was that these neighbors, the neighbors that lived around the crooks, said that they're odd people. Everybody in this neighborhood knows each other, but they don't know anything about the crooks. They kept to themselves, and there is a lot of weird stuff about them, man. This kid Crooks had like international secret phones or whatever. I don't even know what he had there, but it's like bizarre shit a 20-year-old kid wouldn't normally have. He apparently knew how to build bombs. There were bombs found. He had remote detonators. They don't know how he found out to do that. MSM is not reporting on any of this. There's another dude named Maxwell Yerrick, and I saw photos of the dead shooter on the roof, and I'll tell you, it is not Crooks, okay? It's this guy, Maxwell Yerrick, okay? Maxwell Yerrick is the guy that owned that white van that they found from Arizona. And Yerrick is a company that sells explosives. So the media, the government, I think even the government investigation into this is trying to sway us to looking to other things, man. Clay Higgins is trying to shut down any questioning on the water tower at the Butler complex there. There is a lot of shady information about this, just the water tower there. And that Wolves in Finance video is excellent, man. If you guys haven't watched that, it's all in there. Bongino mentioned that nobody's gotten fired yet from the United States Secret Service yet. Not one. One guy got a big promotion to the head of it, the guy that took Cheadle's place when she resigned. She didn't get fired. She resigned. She stepped down, man. Nobody knows where Maxwell Yerrick is right now, Priscilla. Yeah, maybe with Epps, right? He's hiding out somewhere. I think Yerrick is dead, and really nobody knows where Crook is. The Crooks, the guy's father, who we're being told is the shooter, his father just hired one of the top 50 lawyers in the country. So I don't know how you live in a little suburban house and you can afford one of the top 50 lawyers in the country right now. And also the congressmen that were on the committee at this hearing, at this forum, are saying that the FBI and the Secret Service are stonewalling their attempts at gathering information. They're asking for documents, and these documents are coming back completely redacted. So it's obvious they're hiding something, man. So a lot of shady stuff, and it's pathetic. It is pathetic, man. The Pennsylvania police got something to do with this too, yet they don't mind getting framed up by the Secret Service. I don't know. Next time a state police is at an event that I'm attending here, I'm going to ask them, how do you feel about getting framed up by the federal government, man? How do you like it? Now you know how we feel, right? Because they are obviously getting framed up. The Secret Service is trying to blame the state police for not guarding that roof, basically. But the state police gave the Secret Service radios to use so that they could have communications with them. But the Secret Service never picked up the radios. Okay, Debt for Freedom. I just heard about this. I haven't. Grand jury in Washington, D.C. just handed Trump a superseding indictment to replace the charges that were already dismissed, including the 1512 obstruction of Congress charge the Supreme Court overruled. Okay, here it is. Here's what they're going to do to the rest of the J6ers. The 350 J6ers that were charged with 1512. This is probably their play right here, right now. This is all panning out as we're talking here, I think. Thank you, Debt for Freedom. So Trump's under new charges as of today. Unbelievable, people. Unbelievable. They should have liquid steel, right? Right, none of these charges. And even E. Jean Carroll stuff is just outrageous injustices, man. On it goes. Okay, there was news yesterday evening also that Trump has placed for his transition team, should he win the election, he asked RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard to be on his transition team. So what we have here is Donald J. Trump inviting Democrats onto the transition team. Wouldn't that be a way to unite the country and to make sure that there is a smooth transition of power, to have Democrats and Republicans on his transition team? But the media is going to just keep screaming. That the media has reported that Jamie Raskin says they're not going to certify the election if Trump wins it, man. They're going to deny the election. They're not going to certify it. Like what we were asking Congress to do during the Donald Trump thing. Just take 10 days and look at the election. But they didn't. They didn't. Right. In other words, they can't bring him on the same charges. That is correct. This is called lawfare. This is unjust. This is un-American. It's unconstitutional. Going after your political enemies with the justice system is just an atrocious misuse of justice. It's a perversion of justice, man. So we got Tulsi and RFK Jr. on the transition team. This guy from Instagram, Pavel, I don't know what's going on here now because I got more information on this. Pavel Durov was arrested in France. He is the guy that ran Instagram. Instagram is a social media company that was set up to be an information spying device for anybody that uses it, all right? It was set up by the spooks. They used that to foment the uprising in Ukraine in 2014. They used it in Brazil. It's used heavily in Latin America and the UK. And they just arrested this guy. So this is either a fake arrest because Pavel Durov is a member of the WEF. So they're either eating their own at this point, and Pavel was going to go rogue on them or something, or this is a fake arrest to make it look like they're doing something when they're not. So more to come on this story for sure. And then at the same time, Mark Zuckerberg, the head of Meta, Facebook, all that, admitted that the White House pressured him to censor people, and he complied. So I have not watched that testimony yet. I just read the headlines on that. But Mark Zuckerberg, who gave $450 million to states in order to place ballot boxes all over the cities last year, helped queer the election last year, has now come out and said, yeah, the government wanted me to censor people, and I did, okay? Which is what we have been saying all along. It's what Alex Jones was saying even before they did it, okay? So once again, the conspiracy theorists are proven true. Our government is completely corrupt. It is rogue, and our representatives have lost control of our government. It's up to we the people to take control of our government back. And that is the tall task that we are faced with right now, America. Nobody knows how to do it yet. That remains. How do we do that non-violently? We don't need to resort to violence for this, do we? Do we? It's going to be really ugly. I don't want to resort to violence, man. I don't want my kids or grandkids getting hurt. I don't want to destroy any of this beautiful country, any of these beautiful buildings we have. But we are the only side taking hits, man. There's 500,000 people dead from fentanyl that's come in over that border. Those are good people, just caught up. A lot of them didn't even know they were ingesting fentanyl. Yet they're dead, okay? All the dead people from the pandemic, when they took the old folks and put them back into the old folks' home, they were in the hospital getting treatment. Governor Cuomo, Governor Wolf in Pennsylvania sent them back to the old folks' homes where they lived, where they were not geared up to handle these people. That's why they went to the hospital in the first place. These governors literally sent these old folks to their deaths. And then they made them die behind pieces of plastic because the CDC said we couldn't even breathe on them. And then they made us go get a jab because you were going to kill grandma if you didn't, okay? They lied to us there too. Yeah, well, Raskin's calling for violence then, isn't he? Okay, that's not us. That's the enemy right there. Raskin's calling for, he's saying that there's going to be a civil war. That's basically what he did say, yes. Yes. So this country's in a pickle, for sure. I am honored to stand against these tyrants and wave a flag right in their face. Yeah, that's right. Governor of New York's a joke. Who's in there now? That woman got, I can't even keep track. My brain hurts trying to keep up with all this stuff. And we have to keep up with this though. That's how we got into the pickle in the first place, okay? We were sleepy. We kept hitting the snooze alarm. Inch by inch, they took our freedoms away. They corrupted this justice system. Biden has installed 250 more judges. You know how long it's going to take to get rid of these judges, man? It's going to take a long time. And then we certified a Supreme Court justice who couldn't even define what a woman is. Tell me that's not ridiculous, man. How could a person like that be on the Supreme Court? It's crazy. It's so crazy. You want to just throw it all away and forget all about it and just, just ignore it. It hurts your brain to think about it. Okay, one of the things about this Zuckerberg thing is he said that the government pressured him to censor people, all right? Well, who is the government? Who is the guy on the other end of the phone, or who is sending him emails to pressure him to do this? Specifically, who was the person that did this? Was it Joe Biden? Was it Merrick Garland? Was it Alejandro Mayorkas? Who specifically pressured him to censor people? All right, this is the questions that our Congress needs to wise up and start asking. This is the same thing that Dan Bongino mentioned to this forum of congressmen. Dan Bongino said, you're asking the wrong questions, okay? They're bamboozling you with procedures and terminology. You got to rise above it. You have to be informed. And they're technically not lying about some of these answers they're giving, but you're not asking the right questions. So we need smarter people in office, apparently, because they're not asking the right questions. Who specifically called Mark Zuckerberg and said, censor people, okay? And then we got the left. The left is imploding, all right? And it's a beautiful thing. They're coming over. We got Tulsi Gabbard, we got Elon Musk, we got RFK Jr., all staunch Democrats. And they are saying that the left has just left them in the dust, okay? They were left, but now the left is so far out left that Elon feels like he's right wing now, you know? So it's part of the uniparty, and it's probably a good thing that this is all happening. It's painful. I don't know, man, but so the Democrats are imploding. Hopefully they will implode. Hopefully they will implode, and then we will implode the Republicans next, because they are not innocent in all this. They are part of the problem. They are the do-nothings, the ones that get up and talk and send strongly worded letters around to people and never accomplish anything, unless it's a pay raise for themselves or something that they want. Two wings of the same bird. That's a good way to put it, critical thinker. Yes. We are entitled to know who gave that order. There should be no secrets. We should keep secrets from the government. The government should not keep secrets from us. This whole thing of secret societies are repugnant to the people of this country. John F. Kennedy said that. And that's what he was fighting over. That's what he gave speeches over right before they shot him. Why is all the information on the assassinations secret still? What is it, 60 years later? We still don't know. Was Lee Harvey Oswald a CIA asset? Who was Okay, yeah, I gotta leave too. Jeff for Freedom, thank you for helping out with the links today. Looks like Sapphire Patriot just fired up at the corner there. I'm gonna drive home. I'm gonna try to get in on Sapphire's stream today. Stormtrooper's not there. He's driving home. Prayers for travels home there, Stormtrooper. It's been an honor to work with you. Rest up, buddy, because we got more work to do. All right, this is Jericho. Over and out.